My name is Beth Piley here for Board Game Geek TV at Gen Con 2014. I'm sitting down with Doug Lewandowski.
Hey.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great, how are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm really excited. You are with Meltdown Games and you have brought us Gothic Doctor.
That's right, and that's the way to say it too.
There's some game names that I just can't do without putting a lot of ham into it.
That's great.
All right, so Gothic Doctor.
Yes.
Why are we here? What do we do?
So in Gothic Doctor, you play a doctor in 1850s London, treating patients from Victorian literature. So it turns out it's not nonfiction. It is nonfiction. It's not fiction. So you're treating patients like asylum patients or mortally wounded patients, werehounds, mad scientists, bite victims, or legends like the Invisible Man or the Headless Horseman. And so each one of them requires a different combination of treatments in order to cure, and so you're trying to do that. So for the mortally wounded guy, you need to remove some bandages from him and give him some laudanum because he needs to calm down a little bit. The werehound needs to have his fangs pulled out, needs a good shave, and needs his humors realigned, things like that. So it's a fun, relatively quick, pretty lighthearted game that's a set collection, hand management, and time management, which is probably the most important element, the time management. Because you only have 11 turns to make as much money as you can for your practice.
From 8 p.m. until 5 a.m.
That's exactly right.
So just take us through what would a turn probably look like?
So a turn will look like, on your turn you have an action phase, when if you have an action card and you want to play it, you can. And then you go through your treatment phase, and then you draw. So if I were to walk through a turn here, I would play my action card, which is, it's in here somewhere, and that allows me to...
that actually is the name of the card.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, it's in your
It's
hand.
in here somewhere. And so that allows me to get rid of the whole medical library, which are these face-up treatment cards that I'll be able to draw from at the end of my turn.
because we're flicking through our medical textbooks trying to find something.
Right, and so then you replace it, and then I get to take my turn. So based on the cards I have in hand, I get to decide what combination would best work out for what I want to do here.
You have a whole little symbol library up at the top there. I very easily seem would match up with the requirements for the different patients.
Exactly, yeah, and in the game, there's a treatment guide which has the 12 treatments on there.
Which actually I am going to put in the middle here because these are some pretty rockin' treatments. Like we could do a good shave, do they have acupuncture?
Well, so when we were doing the research for this, John and I found out that a lot of the Chinese immigration that was happening then, there was this fascination with the Orient, and a lot of it was negative in terms of them thinking that they were bringing over this opium craze, but also, some elements like silver pin acupuncture, which might help out. And actually, one of the patients out here is one of the ones who would have come over with the Chinese immigration, the werehound, because in their culture, people turned into dogs, not wolves. So we incorporated that into the game.
Facial reconstruction, exorcism, very important
Always
thing for a doctor to provide. Trepanning,
Hey, sometimes you need a hole in your skull.
It's like a good shot in the head.
That's right, it helps.
All right, so for the rest of your turn, so you've done your action card.
Right, so now I have these cards here. Are these visible here if I put them?
We can put them in the middle here if we want to just zoom in.
So I have these treatment cards in my hand. And based on just matching up symbols, it doesn't look like I can do anything. But the catch is that the panacea is, as the name would suggest, a cure-all. So that can be played as a wild card. It's required for some patients, but it's also a wild card. And so based on this, what I would probably do is take a look at who I could treat, and I think I would wind up treating the bite victim. So I would use, she requires bandage removal and herbal remedy. I have the panacea in place of bandage removal and the herbal remedy for her. So I discard those two.
It looks suspiciously like garlic.
What can I say?
And I'm noticing also you have a little profit margin in pounds on the bottom corner there.
Yeah, and so the way you win the game is by making the most money. And the way you earn profit is by treating the patients. They each have a different value on them, 25, 50, or 75, depending on the number of treatments. In addition to that, there are going to be some bonuses later on in the game if you treat the right combination of patients.
I see. So if I am the psychiatrist, if I treat an asylum patient, which Bertha Mason and Roderick Usher then I get a 75-pound bonus.
Correct.
for
So if
doing
you treat 3 insane patients, even if you treat doubles, you get the psychiatrist bonus. And if you treat 3 bestial patients, like the werehound or werewolf, you get the veterinarian bonus.
Are these the only ones that would more come out if I end up meeting the qualifications?
Good question. So the way it works is the first 2 patients into the waiting room determine the bonuses in the game, and then after that, the rest are out of this game. So there are 4 more in the box, but they won't be used this game.
Okay.
And then there's also the generalist bonus, where if I treat 1 of each kind of patient, then I get that bonus as well.
I'm a doctor of all trades.
Exactly. So the practice wants people who can do some things very well, and a little bit less, since it's only 50 pounds, they want people who can do pretty much everything.
How many did this play?
This plays 2 to 4.
And then what do you think a full game would take you with full 4 players?
First time, probably close to an hour. After that, once people are really getting the hang of it, if they're really just focusing on playing, it could be as little as half an hour.
And I'm guessing this clock advances once you've just gone around
Exactly.
and turned
So
around
at the
the
start
table.
of each person's turn, you would advance the clock 1 hour.
Dun, dun.
That's right. Midnight approaches and everything.
Was there something that particularly inspired you to this theme to do a lot of research but yet throw in a few more supernatural elements in there?
Well, so this is funny. I think. We'll see if everybody agrees. So my dad's a doctor, and I used to work for him during the summers. I'm a teacher. And,
Me too.
Oh, great. And so the first couple of years, you need a little extra income during the summer. And so I would work for him. And I was preparing to teach a unit on Gothic literature in school, and had this dream where I was working in his office, and he poked his head out of one of the treatment rooms and said, "Hey, buddy, can you get me the pliers?" And I said, "Dad, you're a doctor. What do you need pliers for?" And he said, "Well, we've got to get Dracula's teeth out."
This is a dream.
This is a dream, right. And so I go, "Oh, okay, yeah, I mean, this is a dream. That makes total sense."
Obviously.
So I go grab the pliers, because of course he has them in the dream. And go in, and there's, Count Dracula laid out on the table. And he puts the pliers on his teeth, puts his foot on the chest and starts yanking. Dracula starts screaming in Transylvanian or whatever. And I wake up and I go, "Oh." And so my friend John McNeil and I have been thinking about, talking about doing a game together, this game, this idea, that idea. And so I think I sent him an email from my phone, like right then. Didn't even bother firing up the laptop. Just, dude.
I got an Avery game.
Yeah. And so he wrote back and was like, yes, absolutely. And so we worked on that, and it's gone through a lot of iterations. We've been working on it for close to 2 years now, and have really fine-tuned it, practiced it a lot, done a lot of work with Unpub, demoing it there. And that sort of thing, refining our craft. I did a lot of the 24-hour contests on BGG. Those are a lot of fun. So fine-tuning it and making it as good as we possibly can.
Well, I can't speak for anyone else, but I think that's an awesome story of how it came to be.
Thank you.
Well, Doug, I thank you so much for bringing by a Gothic Doctor.
Thank you, and thanks for interviewing me. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.